Friday night under the lights in Dublin. Oh, what a night.
What a night this is turning into, and no more than Ireland deserve. A night of nights for the Republic of Ireland.
But why can supporting Ireland never be straightforward?
Oh, beautiful finish. And that halves the deficit.
And what is it they say about a 2-goal lead in football?
Yeah, I couldn't be any clearer. This isn't about we're going into the game 2-0 up. This is a game of football we want to win on the night.
So beware bruised Belgium.
We've had setbacks, but we have also had really good comebacks in the Nations League, both against England and against Portugal, and that's what we will be up for on Tuesday.
But with Captain Katie on fire and making her 100th appearance tonight, perhaps she can conjure up some more magic.
They're a fantastic team and they're going to put it up to us, and it's going to be really difficult over there. So, yeah, we need to be ready, but we have to give ourselves the best opportunity to push up to League A in terms of that World Cup qualification.
It's the second leg of the Nations League playoff between Belgium and the Republic of Ireland. Kick-off live from Leuven is at 7:30. Now, if Ireland can navigate their way through this playoff, they'll earn promotion to League A of the 2027 World Cup qualifiers, in theory paving a smoother path to the finals in Brazil. It's very much advantage Ireland, and I'm delighted to be in the company of Niamh Fahey and Karen Duggan. You're both so very welcome. Karen, it was a very encouraging performance at the Aviva on Friday night, but what impressed you most about that Ireland team?
I suppose it was just how spirited it was compared to what we'd seen in the early days of League B, and also the fact that they took kind of the criticism and they turned it into like fire in their belly. It was the first time in a long time where we've seen us absolutely dominate physically. I think Belgium didn't know what to do when they couldn't win that physical battle, and the momentum was with us from early doors, and we pushed on, we didn't sit back. It was just back to basics, doing all the basics right, not overthinking, not overplaying, which I think was really important, and just playing to our strengths. You know, Carla talked about the Carla Ward way a lot throughout the other League B matches, but it's played the system that best suits your players, and we did that, and we did it well.
In terms of approach then, Niamh, what's different about this Ireland team now?
I think, as Karen's already mentioned, it looked like they were comfortable in the system. The Carla Ward way was spoken a lot about, and yeah, they went back to like a more familiar 5-3-2, 5-4-1, whatever you like to call it. And I just think there was like quite a lot of buy-in from the players. They seemed comfortable with the system. They won the physical battles. It was kind of like back to the Ireland of old, being difficult, being hard to beat, and also, yeah, taking our opportunities when they came. Obviously, Katie had a fantastic game, and she's huge for us. And when she's on that kind of form, it's a game changer for us. But yeah, I think that formation and that comfortableness, buy-in from the players seemed to be there, which was probably lacking in the other games.
Carla Ward said she wasn't fully happy. There are areas that she thinks need to improve. Where do you think this team could improve, Karen?
Well, look, we conceded 2 goals and we only really coughed up 2 chances. You could call that Belgium really good conversion rate, or you could say that we gave up really good chances. There wasn't a huge amount of negativity I would take from the night. I think when we made the substitutions, we did become a little bit haphazard, a little bit more open in midfield, and then perhaps people passing on responsibility in the back line. So we'll see from the goals that we'll look at, you take responsibility for the player first, because we were winning those physical battles. So just ensuring that you don't get overly emotional because of the subs. I know obviously Jamie Finn coming on emotional, coming back from ACL, but sticking to what we were doing really well early doors, which was keeping a solid shape and then building from that when we won the ball in good areas.
OK, it is a really big night. Will Carla Ward stick or twist? Let's cross over to Tony now for some team news.
Thanks, Marie. Yeah, it's thankfully a much warmer evening than we had last night, and the rain has stopped as well, so maybe sunnier times ahead for the Republic of Ireland. Carla Ward has stuck. She's named an unchanged Republic of Ireland team for the second leg of this playoff against Belgium. That means Grace Maloney in goal makes her first back-to-back starts for the Republic of Ireland, and then the back three will be Stapleton, Hayes and Mustaki again, with Mannion on the right and Katie McCabe on the left. Do you know, by the way, it's Katie McCabe's 100th cap? Not a lot of people know that. She's celebrating that tonight. She'll celebrate it if we get through, that's for sure. Then in midfield, we've got Little John O'Sullivan and Shiva, and up front, Carusa and Emily Murphy. And that's a team that we hope will help Ireland to get through this second leg. Anna Patton has always been chosen when she's available by Carla Ward, so that's something of a surprise, but no doubt she will see some game time during the night this evening. For Belgium, they make 4 changes, and I think they feel they probably need to after their defeat in Dublin. 2 of the girls who were suspended come straight back into the team. That's Justine van Havermythe, she's a Crystal Palace player, and Jill Janssens as well, the Hoffenheim attacker. Then the girl Maria de Troyer, who scored in Dublin, she starts, she's the Inter player. And local girl Xenia Mertens, who also came on in Dublin. So 4 changes she hopes will change the flow of the game from a Belgian point of view. The referee tonight is Stephanie Frappart, of course, famous as the World Cup referee. Ireland's Michelle O'Neill used to be part of her team, and she's refed in the men's game as well, so she'll take no nonsense. It's good to have such a high-ranking official in such an important game. Well, earlier I got the thoughts of the Irish manager and the Belgian manager, but first let's hear from Carla Ward. Carla, you've gone with an unchanged team. A lot of people thought that Anna Patton, who's such a good player, might have forced her way back into the team. What's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, Patsy's, a star. We know she is. She's unbelievable. I think just the fact that worked the other night, I think, it's something that we want to start in a similar way in terms of tight, compact, and you certainly couldn't change the back 5. I thought they were excellent.
Our focus and approach to this game is just to talk about the opportunities that we have instead of talking about any big challenges.
What did you learn from the Ireland performance on Friday?
Yeah, we've analysed the game really well, especially ourselves, but of course how they approached the game and the system that Ireland was playing and what was good in it and what can be used from our side today as a weakness. So yeah, I think we will be focusing mainly on ourselves and what we can do better today.
Have you thought about extra time and penalties, heaven forbid?
I have. Something we haven't discussed with the players because they don't need to consider that, but of course, listen, you have to, as a coach, you have to make sure every single scenario is covered. We've very early on in the week we've done some bits around if we got to that, so yeah, it's covered. Let's hope we don't get there, mind.
Exactly, yeah. Best of luck to you tonight, Carla.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks a million. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Now, we're getting quite familiar with this formation. Niamh, just talk us through it.
Yeah, same again really. 5-3-2, no change in the back line, and they did well. I wouldn't have said you needed to put Anna Patton back in, and then Shiva Littlejohn O'Sullivan in the midfield, and Murphy and Caruso up top, who I thought had an exceptional game in that first game. Endless work rate running, and as a pair, the two worked really well. So no surprise, no change, and hopefully same again performance-wise.
Karen, when we look at areas of concern, when Denise O'Sullivan and Rusha Littlejohn went off, we did cede control a little bit around the middle of the pitch. How can this be prevented?
Yeah, look, I think it's just about getting the spacing right and making sure you still have a leader, still have a voice in those areas. That's up to the girls behind them to make sure that they're organising. Carla said that there's no stone unturned. Everyone should know their roles. It's a system, like Niamh said, that they're very, very used to, so it should be seamless. Obviously, we weren't used to scoring 4 goals. Those substitutions came on, it got a little bit haphazard. But again, it's a learning that we can take into this game and make sure it doesn't happen again. The advantage is with us, so it's more of the same, but for longer periods.
We're just not used to being in that situation as well. But even you look at the defence, it was so solid. And as someone that was there not so long ago, you must have been happy with that, and the fact that it was fluid as well.
Yeah, it was a really impressive performance, I think. Given our player profile as well, I think that back 5 suits us. I thought we looked a little bit exposed when we played the back 4, but I thought, yeah, we were excellent, we were comfortable. Grace Maloney as well behind, they looked really assured, and as well Chloe Mustaki, I think, on that left side, outside centre half position, had a really good game behind Katie McCabe. They all played really well. They're going to be important tonight again, and also that organisation piece. We got caught really for the 2 goals, and that's maybe something where in those moments we probably just have to organise someone to take control in those situations if they do occur again. But yeah, really good performance from that defensive unit in that first game.
And Karen, you really liked the direct approach that they adopted at times as well.
Yeah, I did. I think at times previously in League B we could have been guilty of overplaying, but this was a real feature, getting it down the left early, and that Caruso and Shiva link-up was really important. And even just to do things like winning throw-ins early on, winning these free kicks. Like, Belgium are a good side, but we didn't allow them any momentum. It was constantly with us because we were winning those battles and getting frees and throws higher up the pitch. And that's not a perfect ball, but it didn't have to be, because the distances between the midfield and the two up top were really good. We felt like they were really, really connected, and we fashioned a lot of chances out of that. And I thought, particularly, obviously, we're used to seeing Denise doing it, but Shiva covered every blade of grass to make sure that she was covering those spaces as well. And I just thought overall the balance of the team was good. We didn't press too highly, leave ourselves overly exposed in midfield, because it can be hard when you play at 3 and you're expecting your 2 centre mids to get out to full-backs as well. That's where we came in for a little bit of trouble when Belgium changed their shape late in the second half. So I'm sure we're prepared for that, but that's a tough job. So really spacing distances at the back are equally as important up top as well, in order for us to just grow into the game and get at Belgium again.
Listening to Elizabeth Gunnarsdottir, the manager of Belgium, you'd have to think that she's had a lot of words with her team, and they're not going to be as poor as they were the last time. What lessons do Ireland need to learn from playing that game the last day as well?
I think she got caught with our formation. I think she was definitely preparing for the 4-3-3, but yeah, we sprung a surprise. But in terms of the danger that they possess, they're a very good counter-attacking team. But this moment here, just highlight the Ireland back 5. We're pushing out there in a situation where there's no pressure, well, not good enough pressure on the ball, and we look a little bit disjointed. Rusha was filling in that gap, so just that organisation piece needs to be better. And the second goal as well, I think from an Irish perspective, we were brilliant all night, but probably disappointed here in this situation where we're filling in gaps, we're not quite getting in and around it. We've over-covered as well, the ball goes wide, and you can just see here that narrow back 4 as we lose Aoife Mannion out to the wide position, and people aren't necessarily picking up. We've 2 free centre halves in the box, and from there, just, it's a calamity of kind of mistakes in terms of trying to clear the ball, making sure we're getting out, a bit laboured to get out, and unsighted Grace Maloney, and it's quite a cheap goal to concede, and I think that just gives Belgium maybe a little bit of a lifeline. I think at 4-2, probably 4-1, it's obviously a bigger mountain to climb, but yeah, 2-goal lead is always a dangerous lead in football.
Yeah, but I'm glad it's with us, though.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it, exactly. We'd rather it that way.
OK, we're going to take a very quick break, but coming up, we're going to hear from Captain Katie McCabe on the day she earns her 100th cap for Ireland. Katie McCabe lit up the Aviva Stadium last week, and today she will reach 100 caps in Leuven. She sat down with Tony to reflect on a glorious decade in green.
Katie Alison McCabe.
Alice.
It'll be your 100th cap for the Republic of Ireland against Belgium. That in itself is a remarkable achievement. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I think, when I first obviously came into the team, the legends I was surrounded by, and then as obviously the years went on, you see people picking up their 100th cap and how sacred it is, and the commitment those girls had throughout their whole career to now be kind of sitting with you now, approaching that milestone is, an absolute honour and a privilege. That was nearly 10 years ago now.
And you'd almost forgotten, hadn't you?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it in a long time. I think we were playing UCD, yeah. And we just got a free kick, and I just thought I'd hit it. And delighted it went in, because we went on to win the final. But that was an incredible day out. Rahini is such a massive part of my career and my development. It has to be Glasgow, doesn't it? Everything was set up perfect for us, really. I think, hearing the final whistle blow was, I think I just dropped to my knees. I ran around to try to find the nearest player. I think it was Denise, and just kind of embraced her. But yeah, it was such an incredible day, incredible achievement. We'd worked so hard. I'll always be very grateful to Vera Pauw for that. She'll always be the first manager to get us to a major tournament. And honestly, to walk out in Sydney and seeing a sea of green, tricolours, flags, everything, it was just incredible. And then singing around Leuven, and it did feel like a home game for us. It was just non-stop, and I think the whole feel of that night in Perth, it felt like a night in Tallaght. The rain was pouring down. The stands were packed with Irish fans. Look, the corner, gonna get it then. At that point, I was just kind of fully focused on where I was putting it, blocking out obviously all the distraction and just making sure I was going to hit the target and start at home. So obviously delighted to see it hit the back of the net. It was important actually that that went in because we just conceded, and it was a real swing in momentum in the game.
So you're calling that a goal?
I'm calling it a goal. I'm calling it a goal. I'll take it. It was brilliant. Brilliant play out from the right side. The girls had progressed up the pitch well, and then Murph had pulled out wide. Kira had made the run, which dropped their defenders, which freed the edge of the box for me. So, yeah, I liked that goal. That was a good goal. It was a good team goal. Yeah, look, there's a lot to do between now and then for sure. But it is in our sights. I mean, the fact we've obviously got to the last one, we know what we have to do, what's required, but we know what we're capable of in this team, and we know when we've got it right that we can kind of beat anybody, you know.
Now, it would be wonderful to see Katie McCabe at another major tournament because she's been so central, as we saw from watching that VT, she's been so central to everything that Ireland have done in the last decade. And she joins illustrious company now, a Centurion, and has earned every bit of it, hasn't she, Niamh?
Yeah, incredible. What a player she is and continues to be for this Irish team. Developed into a world-class player, and now making her 100th appearance for Ireland, and yeah, joined not so many bad names on that list there, but no, fantastic.
She's very young as well.
She's so young, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just Anya, who's just better there in terms of age to 100, but yeah, no, unbelievable from Katie, and she continues to be so central. And when Katie's on it, she just lifts Ireland to another level. And to see the career she's had and continues to have is great, and obviously she's such an important figure for us at the moment.
So that's her debut back in 2015 at the Isteria Cup. She's against Hungary, and you're there as well, Niamh.
Yeah,
and lots of Centurions there.
Questionable photograph
7
there, but yeah, look, the youth, and yeah, it's just incredible what she's gone on to achieve, I think. 10 quick years from the
I don't think any of us are surprised though that she's gone on the trajectory that she has. I mean, when she was breaking through, you could tell that she had it all. Like, she wasn't just the street baller, she has the grit and the strength and the athleticism, and it takes all of those things to get to where she has done with Arsenal and the way she's led Ireland. And like, at times you feel for her because we expect so much from her, and she's shouldered so much. And when she had an off game, we thought, oh, it was all Katie, what do we do with Katie? How do we get the best out of Katie? But she's shouldered that, she's taken it on, and then she brought it into that performance in the first leg against Belgium. You could tell the relief when she slotted home the penalty, and she just grew and grew from there and just led by example.
You've seen so many players come through, Niamh. You've played for some of the biggest clubs in the world, but what is it that sets Katie apart from everybody else?
I think she's just got a bit of everything, to be honest. She's got that street footballer, but for me, she's got that determination and hunger that I think certain top players just have. You know, she just wants absolutely. She hates losing at anything. She's the worst. She's a terrible loser, but I think you need that. And for her to be at the level that she is, if you don't have that, I don't think you really make it. And she didn't have it the easiest paths. Like, she went to Arsenal, she wasn't playing. She had to go to Glasgow to go get her minutes to play. So she's a fighter, she's a worker, and then she has the talent to go along with it. She's got the perfect ingredients.
Yeah, she's got the bravado, but she was also willing to learn and willing to put in the work, and that's what brought her back to Arsenal. And you see how central she's been to a Champions League winning side.
She's got the right blend of everything.
And she's a leader as well, Karen. How important is that leadership going to be on a night like tonight, where things might not be as straightforward as we'd be hoping?
Yeah, it's huge, and I'm sure she didn't like at times when it was questioned around like the Wales game and stuff, and who was going to be the leader and bring them through when the likes of Niamh left and retired. But she's willing to shoulder a lot of it. She does need help around her. She has Denise. We need to see more people helping her out and allowing her to go and play at times as well, so that she's not taking the full burden on. But she'll be confident now going into this game, having had that really good performance behind her. A 2-goal lead won't be just enough for her. She'll want to kick on it and drive them on to more and better standards, because she's looking towards League A, she's looking towards World Cup qualification, and hopefully that mindset can filter down through the rest of the squad and give them confidence.
And then, Niamh, what are you expecting from tonight's game?
I'm expecting them to go out like it's 0-0. I'm expecting them to go and be compact, but also, you know, if Belgium push up, to really hit them on the counter, we can exploit that. But yeah, first and foremost, be a bit pragmatic, play it a little bit safe, but also not dropping too deep. I just think feel into the game, keep your standards high, battle, and just work your way into it that way. And yeah, no risks, no overplaying in the wrong moments, I think.
OK, well, an early goal would be nice as well. Let's join our commentary team now of Maeve de Burka and first Des Kern.
Well, thank you, Marie. So, a bolt from the blue on Friday night, or the strongest sign yet that Ireland are a side moving in the right direction. Consistency, that ability to back up big performances and results is what every manager craves. So tonight, a huge night in so many ways for Carla Ward and Ireland. That first leg was nigh on perfect, but the concession of that late second goal handed Belgium a lifeline, and it's one they are determined to seize in front of their home fans tonight.
The Republic of Ireland. Thank you very much. Dames en heren, mesdames et messieurs, la Brabançonne de Brabançonne.
The pressure is piled on Elisabeth Gunnarsdottir and Belgium tonight. A first leg result they certainly hadn't countenanced. But now can they turn it around at the Dreef in Leuven, about half an hour east of Brussels. Belgium's last game here, a heavy 5-1 Nations League defeat to the world champion Spain back at the end of May. But worth noting, just 3 weeks prior to that, they beat England here by 3-2. So to the teams, Belgium welcome back both Justine van Havermaet and Jill Janssens from suspension. Their return come as part of 4 changes to the starting 11, with Friday's half-time arrivals Enya Mertens and Maria Tetroyer both in from the start. Don, Taloba, De Cagny and Delico, the quartet that makes way. And a big onus once again on the captain Tessa Vullart to carry the goal-scoring threat off the back of her 95th international goal in that first leg. It is a burden she has carried and relished ever since her debut back in 2011, Vullart. And holding the jerseys of some of those who miss out tonight through injury. But certainly the returns of Van Havermaet and Janssens strengthen this as a starting 11. touch from Katie McCabe, congratulating her opposite captain on reaching 150 caps. Stephanie Frappart doesn't get much bigger in the women's game than the French official. What of Ireland? Anna Patton available again, but it's an unchanged 11 after that encouraging first leg display. So a back three again, consisting of Jessie Stapleton, Caitlin Hayes and Chloe Mustaki. In midfield, Denise O'Sullivan and Rusha Littlejohn both came through Friday night unscathed and with valuable minutes in the legs and lungs. And up top, a pairing that has caught the eye in Ciara Carusa and Emily Murphy. And of course the big news, as mentioned, Captain Katie McCabe reaching the significant milestone of 100 caps. Maeve de Burka alongside me. You were there for many of those, Maeve. What a night for Katie McCabe, and hopefully now a result and an ultimate outcome to go with it. Ahead of the game, there will be a moment in remembrance of Gilbert Timmermans, the former honorary president of the Belgian FA.
Nous vous prions, mesdames et messieurs, à présent de respecter un moment de silence en sa mémoire.
So, Maeve, we have you now. How do Ireland approach this then? Is the belief that after scoring 4 on Friday, that attack is the best form of defence tonight?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I'm sure the girls will have been reminded that Belgium were off the pace and at the same time still managed to score 2 goals in Dublin. So I think it's so vital that no complacency creeps in tonight. I'm definitely going to be expecting more aggression from Belgium, more energy and intensity from the start. So we negated their threats really well, I think, on Friday night. But I'd expect to see probably a little bit more of their quality shine through tonight. So we need to be aware of that, and hopefully we can put a stop to it too.
Yeah, they've come out in very animated fashion onto the pitch, Belgium, and backed by a vociferous crowd here in Leuven. Ireland's record on the road in this Nations League has been hot and cold. Big second half performances, the group wins in Turkey and Greece, following that debacle in Slovenia. It seems like a long time ago now, though. And that down to the fact that Friday night was so positive right from the very first whistle. Carla Ward, Katie McCabe and others were left ruing the concession of the goals and how they came about, particularly that second one, which has got Belgium to within 2. Let's see what their approach is like tonight. As was the case on Friday, not really squeezing the Irish back three. Vollard will go towards Grace Maloney, starting back-to-back games. It's been around the Ireland camp for a long, long time, but Courtney Brosnan's injury means Grace Maloney makes her 9th appearance tonight, part of a very good under-17 side that got to a European Championship final. Detroit on the move here, off-right flag goes up. And just a little statement made by Jessie Stapleton anyway.
Yeah, definitely just let her know she was there. Jessie's not afraid to back out of any tackle, but early on we can see maybe just a little bit of a higher line. They seem to be calculating a bit more, and yeah, Jessie wasn't backing out of that one, even though the whistle had already gone.
The Troyer, 21 of Inter Milan, where she's a club teammate as well as now an international teammate of Tessa Vollard. So there will be that understanding. Will it be a lucky or unlucky 13th game in charge for Elisabeth Gunnarsdottir? Carusa, whose work rate and physicality in that first leg was so evident. Tisiak's throw into Sari Case. Now to the left-hand side. Xenia Mertens. Sullivan pressurising, Mannion has it back. Played away by Stapleton. And Ireland with the throw-in. For Belgium, no real options. Again, they have to go after if they hope to maintain their ever-present Nations League top-tier record. These early minutes feel so important. And that is a foul and a free kick, very well won by Ciara Carusa.
Carusa is so, I think we see a lot of her when she's on the ball, but just her work rate off it as well. She leads the press from the start, and even that, just winning free kicks like that, being strong, holding up the play, and being smart as well, using her experience, knowing how vital it is this early stages of the game. It's so important that we don't concede early. and just managed to kind of take the sting out of what's going to be an onslaught really from Belgium.
Katie McCabe and Stephanie Frappart not seeing eye to eye early on here, 2 minutes in, and the referee asking Katie McCabe to get across a little bit quicker to take this free kick. I think the Ireland captain pointing out she had to come all the way across. So here we go, good chance with some pressure on the goal of Nikki Everard early on. Fantastic looking ball in on the header. What an opportunity that was for Caitlin Hayes. Free header in the end. Belgium never dealt with the delivery, goalkeeper stayed at home.
Yeah, smashing ball in right in the right area, and it put your house on Hayes to finish that one off, and Stapleton just in behind them both, just a split second late with the runs. But we know the quality when McCabe is on the ball, whipped into such a dangerous area that time.
Well, it's strange to see Justine van Havermaet, who at 6'1" is the head and shoulders above quite a few out there, almost duck underneath that ball, whether or not she got a call from behind her. And presented Caitlin Hayes with the chance. Just early encouragement for Ireland that there can be goals to them here tonight. Ball played in behind McCabe. Grace Maloney swiftly to the edge of her area. Sunderland goalkeeper sends it long. Van Havermaet underneath it. Not alone does she bring this obvious physical presence back into the team in the centre of midfield, but good record for goals as well. Has scored at 2 European Championships. Littlejohn calms everything down and back to Stapleton. Wraps her right foot around it. Not dealt with very successfully by Mertens. Carusa feeds it into O'Sullivan. Ireland looking confident in possession in these early minutes. And winning another free kick, and well, they're being clever here. We saw Carusa earlier, Littlejohn here. They know that Belgium have come out pumped up. Just using that against them, their eagerness to get to the ball and win it back.
Yeah, definitely, and two of the more experienced players in Carusa and Littlejohn, knowing, like I said, how vital it is. And it's been a good start, because I thought we were expecting Belgians to come out all guns blazing, and just it's good to see that calmness, I think, in possession. That's the main thing that was evident on Friday night, and we can see it early on here as well, just the calmness and composure on the ball.
An almost identical position this for the Ireland captain. Hayes, the obvious threat again. Got herself between Cayman and Van Havermaet. McCabe, or something a little different, into the feet of Emily Murphy. Couldn't pull the trigger first time, and McCabe's subsequent ball in, claimed by Nikki Everard.
Yeah, interesting decision to change that one up, just given how close the first free kick was.
Forward by Chloe Mustaki. Good ball into the channel as well for Carusa. Delosa back goal side. Carusa spots a little gap to drive into. Couldn't link up with her front partner, Emily Murphy. Littlejohn, should mention as well, she's not far off her 100. Cap number 93 for Ruesha Littlejohn tonight. That experience in there vital. Tidied up by Tisiak. And Everard out to this right-hand side. Janssens. Elena Dont, who would be more of an attacker than a wing-back, had issues defending Ireland's left-hand side on Friday, so the return from suspension of Janssens of Hoffenheim is a big plus for Elisabeth Gunnarsdottir. Shiva will go again. Step over as McCabe played it forward to Emily Murphy. Here's Carusa. Lovely touch back to Murphy again. There's that confidence on the ball once more. Littlejohn bends it towards Shiva. Stretching, couldn't take it in. De Troyer towards Bullard. Good touch under pressure. Hayes right at her back, and the ball in behind. Janssens has the pace to get there. Digs out across as well, and it will come to the back. An important foot in from Denise O'Sullivan. Back now with Delosa. Into the mix, headed away by Stapleton. Little nick from Shiva's importance, and the clearance away. But there's that intelligence of Bullard again. She can run in behind, but also come short and pass that ball in behind for teammates.
Yeah, and an early warning of Janssens, like you mentioned, on this right wing back role, and obviously was suspended for Friday's game. So just an early warning, as if the Ireland players wouldn't have already known it. But you just need to watch that. She's a real threat with her pace on the right side for Belgium. So between Mustaki and McCabe, we need to deal with that. Yeah, she just got in behind them there. Good ball into a dangerous area, but Belgium just didn't probably have enough numbers, and Ireland managed to clear it.
Jana Toolings was the one arriving. The ball just didn't sit down for her. Janssens at full tilt, dug out that great cross. Nothing cagey about these early minutes. Van Havermaet. Good ball into feet again. Belgium looking to find their targets. Important sliding intervention from Chloe Mustaki. Havermaet could go over the head of McCabe. Prompting in the main down this right-hand side so far, Belgium. The inclusion of Janssens will bring that double edge, I guess. That threat going forward, but also pinning Katie McCabe back. Delosa. This will fall for Stapleton. Rush clearance, looks to find her target, which she did in Murphy. Good hold-up play again from Carusa. Murphy surrounded, dispossessed. And the throw-in goes the way of Laura Delosa. Vullart. Hayes comes all the way with her.
Yeah, it's the beauty, I think, of having three centre-backs. If you're marking that predominantly one centre-forward, although she does have support up there as well, but it's just that it allows our centre-backs to go in with Vullart, and that was really what we did a lot of on Friday night. Allows her not to get turned so easily.
Crunching challenge from O'Sullivan, and then barged off it by the retreating Jana Toolings. She got 75 minutes in, Denise O'Sullivan, having played just 20 minutes in the previous 8 weeks of club football. They'll want her out there for as long as possible tonight.
I think Belgium were saying they were missing that bit of aggression on Friday, but it's not missing in this opening 10 minutes here anyway.
Jessie Stapleton, tender in years, but wise enough to know to just slow things down a little bit here. 10 minutes on the clock, still 0-0. Still Ireland with that 2-goal advantage. Chloe Mustaki. Short to Shiva, turned neatly inside to Littlejohn. Manipulates the ball really well when the pressure comes. Away from Janice Kamen, who's playing in a more advanced role here, where she finished on Friday in midfield. Belgium's caps record holder. Kamen's 168th this evening. Amber Tisiak. Little switch there at the back tonight as well, with Tisiak going to the right-hand side from the centre in a switch with Sari Case.
Possibly to counteract Ireland's strong left side. Maybe three players on this side now have changed a little bit. Janssens, Droyer and Case, like I said, and Tisiak coming over, so they obviously saw our left side as a strong side, so counteracting it.
There is Tisiak of West Ham, knocking on 50 caps at the age of 25. The throw-in picked off by Van Havermaet.
Former housemate of Jess Suze, I believe, is on the bench. Hopefully we might see her at some stage.
Van Havermaet, a current teammate of Abby Larkin and Hayley Nolan at Crystal Palace. Formerly of Everton as well. Littlejohn makes herself available. When the pass was on, just couldn't squeeze it through. Piece is picked up by Marissa Shiva. Mustaki looking to turn that Belgian defence. Carusa, always a willing runner. Ball just beat her out of play.
Took that one.
Ball dropped over the top and no offside flag here. Ball needs to be a good one. It's cut out by Caitlin Hayes. Good run by Delosa. Hayes, who had a very big first leg. Very big chance in the early minutes of the second. Important intervention there. The home crowd ramp it up for the first corner of the game. Vullart to take. Floats it in. Maloney gets a right foot to it, a right fist to it. And the clearance completed. Good positive goalkeeping.
Yeah, Carusa seems to have been given the job of marking Van Havermaet. So she'll have her work cut out tonight. We know how dangerous Van Havermaet can be from set pieces. She got one from a corner against Spain at the Euros, so you can see just that tall figure right in the centre of the field at the moment, and she really dominates the air.
Sullivan looking to nick it out in front. A few little tactical tweaks, as we mentioned, in the Belgian starting 11. The positionings of Tissiak and Sari Case, and also you can see Jarna Toolings, who played a central role on Friday, operating out towards the left tonight. Vullart clever. Just hooked it and nicked it off Mannion out for a Belgium throw-in. Case. Across to Tissiak. That's for a slide through a ball through. Nice little layoff. And the ball in behind is cut out by Jessie Stapleton. Actually not done. Vullart was in. Now it's Little John. Hooked forward by Van Havermaet. Hayes. And a calming header from Little John just to slow it down again.
I think it's important just to keep possession at times like this, just even frustrate Belgium a little bit. Obviously the pressure's all on them.
Mustaki again going long and early. Carusa, lovely little flick that. To be dealt with, and that's been sliced out of play by Mertens. Carusa has it on the end line. Again, a clever touch from Tissiak this time. Janssens dispossessed. Mustaki, and now Shiva. Little John with time. Mustaki likewise. Shiva completing the triangle, and Little John freed here. The intention, the ball through the middle. This time Belgium's turn to slide in and intercept. Vullart all the way back to the edge of her own penalty area. Van Havermaet. Nice ball forward from her, Little John. Loose in return. Van Havermaet. Vullart trying a little bit to do too much on it that time. Here's O'Sullivan. Nutmeg trying to come on the inside. Belgium with numbers. And the ball back in their possession. Van Havermaet sets it in front of Tissiak. Janssens driving in field. Van Havermaet available again. Nice touch to get it under control by Cayman. Sweeping ball all the way across towards Vullart, headed away by Mannion. Crunching challenge coming in from Mertens. Referee happy with it. Real intensity to the opening 17 minutes. And just a reminder, what's at stake: promotion to League A, and every UNL League A side at the end of this year is guaranteed at least a playoff for the World Cup in Brazil in 2027. League A winners will go on to qualify directly. Second and third will face League C outfits in the first round of qualifying. Big advantages to be gained.
Be really, I think, vital for our World Cup hopes to get into League A because of that playoff, like you mentioned, but also just playing a higher ranked opposition regularly as well is going to, I think, be of huge benefit to us going forward as well. So it's where you want to be really as players and as a country in League A, and I'm sure they're going to fight for it tonight.
And things feel a little bit different now than when they were in with Sweden, England, France in that Euro qualification game. I think to the 3 away games there, they lost all by a single goal margin, but while defensively it was mostly a defensive game, the attacking threat wasn't really there then. It certainly is now.
Yeah, I think so, and you know, the draw might be favourable as well. It was extremely unfavourable, I think, that time, just getting such high-ranked teams, and you know, it could be a case where you might even be targeting trying to get into that third place spot. And yeah, I think we've grown a lot, and the system, obviously, when Carla came in, she said that she wouldn't be changing her system and we'd be playing the Carla Ward way, but I think in fairness to her, she has adapted, and I think seen you know, the quality that we have in terms of our centre backs and playing 5 at the back. I think it really suits the team, and that was clear. She did that in America first for the friendlies in June, but I think it was really evident then on Friday night as well. It seems to suit us the best, I think, personally.
Conditions and the opposition in the summer wouldn't have been the most amenable to seeing what you want to see. Just incidentally, if you do end up in League A, as Ireland are hoping to, and you end up 4th out of the 4, your playoff path would begin against a League B outfit as well. Little John into O'Sullivan. Well, Toolings might claim she got the ball. She had to go through Denise O'Sullivan to get to it, though. And that's one of those that can lead to an injury easily. And was it on the outside of the knee, I wonder? It was a knee issue that Denise O'Sullivan was in trouble with for the last couple of months, and she is not happy at all. The court midfielder with the challenge. That brings Toolings a yellow card.
I think it's not the first tackle of the game on Denise O'Sullivan. We just see here Tooling just coming in on the wrong side of Denise, and yeah, it was a strong tackle.
It's a foul that kills any momentum Belgium were building, and it's another free kick for Katie McCabe, more central this time. Belgium hold on the 18, and now drop, and it's towards Hayes. Van Havermaet more convincing that time. Emily Murphy didn't get purchase on her shot. Mannion back onto her right-hand side, the cross in, headed clear. And Janssens just inside her own penalty area. And at the end of it all, it's an Irish corner.
Carusa just cheering on. She sees that's where the pocket of the Irish fans are in the stadium, and
a few Demerkas in there, I'm told, tonight as well.
Yeah, I think there's about 7 of my family in there, so yeah, I've seen them flying the flag there, so yeah, cheering them on.
Or will they have a goal to cheer right in front of them in this first half? Denise O'Sullivan, that job again, just to discomfort Everard without drawing the referee's attention. McCabe floats it, Everard opted not to catch, headed back in by Murphy. Everard still can't hold it, and the chance is there, volleyed goalwards by, what was it, Aoife Mannion. Ireland appealing for handball. Got that fortuitous penalty at the end of the first half on Friday. No VAR again tonight, and no penalty forthcoming. Shiva floats it back in again. A bit too much aggression in the challenge that time for Stephanie Frappart's liking. Certainly the first delivery from the corner from McCabe looked like one that Everard could have taken and held, and once she didn't, it was a bit helter-skelter from there.
Yeah, it's the kind of chaos you want to create with those McCabe deliveries into the right areas, but Everard definitely didn't look too steady under that one.
Stapleton reading that pass from Toolings. Mertens for Case, and now Tiziak. To Troyer. Not the same wavelength as Vullart that time. Little John excellent again as the pressure was coming. Ireland know she's comfortable to take it in those areas. Relieve the pressure. Mannion, oh, bends a fabulous ball in behind. Carusa! No, she's offside. The touch took the ball through to Everard anyway, but what a fabulous ball from Mannion.
Yeah, very tight there. Carusa probably just went a split second, if even early, but we know that those balls, again, they worked on Friday night, just the ball slipped through in between the left and right sided centre-back and the wing-back. Even the balls on the ground, I think we've hit a few early in the air, but I think the ones like that just on the ground low in behind are the ones that are really going to trouble Belgium, getting them turned.
Nice variation so far from Ireland going forward as well. We've seen Mustaki send it long for the runners. We've seen them build it through midfield. Mannion there with a terrific ball from wide right. Both sides certainly well aware of the significance of the first goal, whichever way it goes, if we are to have one tonight. Stapleton, that's going to be a yellow card, studs showing.
Toolings has been involved, I think, a lot in the battle so far. Stapleton, of course, she used to play in midfield as well, so she's used to those tackles, and probably a little bit late there.
I don't think she can really, on reflection, have too much cause for complaint, Jessie Stapleton. Touch short to Vullart. And Ireland have left a gap down the side here, and the ball pulled back. Read by Aoife Mannion. The idea, I think, to find Detroyer on the edge. Scored from about that range, laid on at the Aviva on Friday. Marie Detroyer. Toolings inside to Detroyer. And numbers down that left-hand side again. O'Sullivan trying to plug the gap. Here comes the cross. Ooh, Hayes went down. And Vullart was arriving in behind her. The threat is still there, though. And now the Belgian fans left appealing for a penalty. Vullart back in again. Came in her target. And the home fans not happy on a couple of fronts here. Firstly, feeling that maybe, I think it may have been Cayman arriving blindside of Hayes, might have been caught. Was there contact there?
It's a tight one, and then I think Mannion on the second occasion, and here's a tactical break from Maloney. Probably need it after that just to calm it down. It's becoming such a feature of, I think, international football in general. We saw Everard do it when Belgium were under pressure in the Aviva, and likewise now Maloney is down with the, I don't know what injury it is.
Nothing the referee can do. The referee
it's
can only stand there. It's an injury to a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So she's told, and let's have a look again at this scramble.
Yeah, it's just a bit of chaos in the box there, especially on the second one as well. Everard really, I don't know why she wasn't catching it. It just leaves a lot of kind of uncertainty from a defensive point of view. That seemed like a very routine catch, but Mannion there with the strike just blocked off the line, unlucky not to get in the score sheet.
Too many bodies in the way for Aoife Mannion. Opened her account in the playoff in Tbilisi. First round of the European playoffs. Everard's goal remains intact at the other end. Grace Maloney back on her feet.
This pack seems to have worked.
Let's have a look again. The movement of Cayman, and Hayes was committed to winning the ball.
She just came on the blind side there, and then the second one, the fans thought Aoife Mannion might have pulled the Belgian attacker back there. We didn't see it again at the replay, but we'll be happy enough not to have conceded a penalty.
It's bound to be a real confusion when you're facing up against Janice Cayman, because she's played everywhere, so you're not quite sure where she's going to pop up. One shy of 50 goals as well, so when she gets those chances, she's pretty much 1 in 3 for the national team over a long career, and she will take some watching. That's for Carusa, and wherever she goes, Tisiak isn't too far away. Maybe that's where Belgium feel they can get a little more parity in the physical stakes. McCabe studs on that, altered the flight path and headed away by Laura Delosa.
Yeah, really smart play there from O'Sullivan. You'd have thought, oh, maybe she should keep it in play, but just her experience, knowing to slow it down. They're not in any panic at all, no rush from an Irish perspective, just to see it out of play and to keep possession. And you'd have to think if Ireland were to get one here, I think it could be over.
Littlejohn sweeps it back here to Mustaki. This one picked up by Case. And happy to go back to Everard. Cap number 75, the experienced goalkeeper, Lisa Lichtfuss. You saw the team hold up her jersey for the photo ahead of the game. With a long-term injury. And this will break kindly here. Toolings. Delosa gets ahead of her. No white shirt going with her. Littlejohn forced across. Not a bad ball in. Terrific header from Hayes. Backpedaling, eyes on it all the way. Emily Murphy back deep defending and winning the throw-in.
Just see it again here, just the ball whipped in, but you can see our back five just in really good positions to attack that ball and cover each other, and then who else but Murphy back. Just you see her tires running ahead of the ball and trying to create opportunities, but it's that work rate as well. Herself and Carusa really have made a good, although be it a very short partnership, they've looked quite effective up there together.
At the other end, Hayes with that central leading role amongst the back three. She had a job to do there as well, trying to keep an eye on the movement of Vullart, going backwards, knowing there's pressure arriving from behind you as well. Got her head to it, Caitlin Hayes.
And she's had to work for that spot, Hayes. She was obviously a favourite ever present under Eileen Gleeson, and then wasn't favoured when Ward came in initially, and obviously with Patton's suspension the last night, it really paved the way for herself and Mustaki, and they took their chance. In fairness to them, they were so impressive and deservedly held their place tonight.
Maloney's got a good kicking range, gets plenty on that one, skims off the head of Jill Jansen. This would be a blow for Belgium, were they to be relegated down to League B. They've competed in the last 3 European Championships. Were close to the semi-finals back in 2022. A cruel loss to Sweden in the quarter-finals, conceding in the 6th minute of added time. Next target for them is a World Cup, which they have never made. Ireland one up on them in that regard. Foul on Cayman.
She was going nowhere there, but at least it slowed down the momentum.
Vullart, lovely ball roll to the edge of the penalty area. Janssens. And Vullart again. If you're Belgium, ideally you need two of her. One out providing and one in getting on the end of it.
Yeah, she comes deep so often to create, and like you said, she's the one you want on the end of it as well.
Mertens now to Delosa. Tulings, little touch around the corner. They've worked this really well to spring Delosa down the left-hand side. Another cross in, and at the back it's Fullart. That's a fantastically composed finish. It's a brilliant team goal. Well, they've huffed and puffed in terms of clear-cut chances, but when the goal came, it really was a thing of beauty. And no surprise, it's Fullart, international goal number 96. That has them believing again.
Yeah, an incredible team goal, has to be said. Really intricate play on the left side, 1-2 touch football, just played it in behind Mannion, and then the ball just slipped across to Fullart. Like you said, she's the one that you'd want at the end of it. Really calm, composed finish, just caressed into the bottom left corner. But look at that for interplay between the combination play, which just pulled us apart, and a clinical finish.
A finish she made look easy. She's been doing it all her career. That ball was coming quickly. Just used the pace on it to caress it back across the dive of Grace Maloney. Doing what she does, Tessa Fullart. Doing what she does since her first goal in 2011 for the national team. Now goes home and away against the Republic of Ireland. The lead is still with Ireland, but it's the slenderest of leads now. O'Sullivan taking on Tisiak, who just used her strength, and that strength that won out in the end. A reminder, lest you need it, and let's hope we don't need it. Extra time and penalties if required in Leuven tonight. That's the beauty of simple pass and move, one-touch football. A goal beautifully crafted and finished. Ireland have to compose themselves again.
Yeah, I think it's important to settle now, and they say you can be very vulnerable a few minutes after you concede a goal as well as after you score. So I think it's just important to settle it down now, not change the game plan or anything, and just, you know, it wasn't a bad start from Ireland. The first opening half an hour was decent, and I think we'll just try to build on that, and like I said, just try to grow back into the game now and not do anything stupid.
Stapleton sends it away. Delosa couldn't get her toe to it. Carusa down to Murphy. Ball inside, picked up by Van Havermaet, who lengthens the stride, and on she goes. 3 white shirts around her, not much support there with her. Looking maybe to try and win a corner. Tulings arrives on the scene now. Lovely spin away from Murphy. Jarna Tulings. Well, everything but the cross from her there. Lovely bit of trickery to work the space. Cross straight into the gloves, though, of Grace Maloney.
Just see it again, just great individual play and skill there from Tulings to get away from Murphy, who of course isn't a defender, but back there defending in our right back spot. And I think it's just, like I said, important now not to lose our shape, our organisation, and just keep the ball as much as we can, not give it away easily.
Mertens wins the test of strength against Carusa, and Stapleton, already booked, needs to be careful. Just the last 5, maybe 10 minutes. Belgium starting to open up now.
Yeah, I think for the opening 20, maybe Ireland were possibly the better side, and it just didn't get that goal and make it pay, and sometimes that comes back to bite you.
Enterprising stuff from the back from Tisiak. But out for a goal kick. Final touch coming off Cayman.
Could probably do with another goalkeeping tactical break maybe at this stage as well, just to take the momentum. Seems to be with the Belgians at the moment. Yeah, Grace is using
you're
her
playing the
experience.
referee as well, aren't you, to see how far you can get away with this. Cristiano Ronaldo, Ireland-Portugal recently in Lisbon.
Yeah.
He made a point of making sure the referee was aware of what Keevin Kelleher was doing on the night.
Yeah,
Grace Maloney ignoring the second ball on the pitch.
And I think if you're trying to fool a ref, Stephanie Frappard is definitely not one you want to try to do that. Absolute trailblazer, women referees.
She won't stand for any nonsense. third time taking charge of the Republic of Ireland, the first two in Tala. Hooked away by Mertens. Van Havermaet didn't get much in her touch. Little John tight with possession again. Shiva to Siak Kane, made the decision early. Here is Vullart. Jill Janssens. Vullart has gone on the outside. Van Havermaet looking in her direction. No pressure on the cross here, and it's a tempter. And Stapleton gets a glancing header to it. Taken away from Cayman. Toolings. Looking for a little trick on that far side again. O'Sullivan has seen it all before. A big 7 or so minutes into the break now for the Republic of Ireland. Up in the air from Mannion. Murphy trying to work her way out, and eventually puts boot to ball, and this might work out here. Carusa. Well, Everard had that starting position outside her penalty area and in the end needed it. Ireland almost with a chance out of nothing. There might be something here. It's bouncing awkwardly for Sari Case. Taking no chances, gets it away to safety.
Half a chance there for Carusa, but in fairness to Everard, she did well just to be her starting position off the line, enough to be a keeper sweeper.
Far more effort, endeavour, intensity. Vullart looking for the chip again. Oh, she's done it again. Hesitation at the back, a goalkeeper advancing, a ball not cleared. Vullart saw her chance, and as she did in Dublin, lofted it over the head of Grace Maloney. Two quick-fire goals, and the complexion of this one has all changed now. 2-0 on the night to Belgium, 4-4 in aggregate. We are all tied up in the late stages of this first half.
That's a sucker blow, just the timing of it as well. Said how crucial it was, just be important to get into half-time, but we'll just see it again. It's up that left side from Belgium, the ball over the top, not dealt with by Hayes. She'll be disappointed in that one, and that's the player you don't want it to fall to is Vullart yet again, and another lob like she did in Dublin on Friday, and just lobs Maloney there in the goal. It's unfortunately off her line.
Well, you could see the goalkeeper advancing. Was there a shout towards Hayes to let it go? Now, was there not? Vullart wasn't waiting around. A pinpoint finish as she edges to within 3 of the 100 goals with another classy finish. Tessa Vullart.
I could see Maloney backpedaling, just couldn't get there enough to get a touch on it.
Well, far more effort, intensity, aggression, purpose about Belgium in the second leg. And even more crucially from their point of view, the 2 goals to level the tie. No away goals, of course, in effect, so that is a positive. As Ireland will be searching for them at the moment. Vullart, oh, visionary ball again. And Cayman made the run again from midfield.
I think our just centre midfield area just needs to be tightened up. We're not getting close enough, getting pressure on the ball for those through balls. Rusha was beside Vullart that time, but just not enough pressure on the ball, and we're losing it a little bit there in that centre midfield area. Shiva hasn't touched the ball in the last while, I'm not sure, but she just hasn't been in the game. We can't get her in the game, and just O'Sullivan, Little John and Shiva just together just need to figure it out and get closer, because Van Havermaet and Vullart, when she's dropping in, as well as Toolings, are ripping us apart in there, I think.
Can't ask much more in terms of efficiency from a Belgian point of view. 2 efforts on target, 2 goals. Seen all sides of this Republic of Ireland side through the group stage and into these playoffs. A lot of this about character now. Carusa does well to shuffle a little ball inside to Little John. O'Sullivan. Murphy keeps herself onside. Swings it in towards Little John, who continued her run. Piece is picked up by Carusa, who's tugged back. by Justine van Havermaet, and here is a chance now maybe for Katie McCabe.
Yeah, great stuff from Crusoe, just relieving that pressure, badly needed just to get us up the pitch. And like I said, this could be McCabe territory right here.
Stephanie Frappart paces out the distance. Within range. On cap number 100, could she come up with a magical and a needed moment here for the Republic of Ireland, Katie McCabe?
The Raheny FAI Cup final days come to mind. Distance was probably around this range.
Ireland need that moment to settle them back down here. Well, McCabe was the decoy. Well, the effort was that of Littlejohn, which Everard seemed to have covered.
Thought it would favour the left footer that side, but isn't to be.
Well, the nature of that two-legged tie now, where Ireland are feeling bruised. Still have to look at the positives. It's all tied up in aggregate. Shiva nicks it on, will have to chase it herself. Ireland need to be foot perfect for whatever remains in this first half. Mertens, Toolings and Delosa, they've combined well down that left-hand side. Stapleton gets a foot in. Now with Famania. Bends it forward. Van Havermaet back helping out her defence. Carusa scrapping forward, tidied up by Janice Kamen. Belgium back on the front foot here. Tisiak immediately heading down this right-hand side once Kay's received possession. Touch inside for Detroyer. Big switch here, but too much on it as it skips through to Everard.
I think our back line are doing a good job in that time as Stacky was right in the back of Detroyer, but just, yeah, if we can use that same, I suppose, mentality in midfield as well, just to get that little bit tighter. It hasn't been a bad performance, I think, overall, but like you said, I think Belgium have just been so clinical with their limited chances.
A night where a lot might hinge as well on substitutions when they're made and the personnel involved. All that to unfold in the second half. Carla Ward and Ellen Mahon, Emma Byrne would have gone through all the possible scenarios, including, I'm sure, falling behind tonight, and how psychologically the team would handle that. That's when it happens to you out on the pitch. You've got to be able to deal with it. For Elizabeth Gunnarsdottir, a half that has gone as she would have wanted it to.
I think at this point now, just Ireland probably need to shut up shop and get in, regroup at half-time. I'm sure, like I said, the management will have their homework done and will know every eventuality and how they're going to approach the second half. It's much better that time now from Denise O'Sullivan in on top of Kamen and just forcing the ball back.
Hayes drops one over the head of Stapleton. Mannion will try and prevent the cross here from Delosa. Has managed to hold her up. No one picking up on the edge though, the shot. Hayes, it came at her awkwardly. She's got something behind it and is feeling the effects of it now, Caitlin Hayes. Cayman letting fly.
It's a little bit slow maybe to come out and put the pressure on. And body part of Hayes that hit there, but she just got winded, I think.
Van Havermaet. And between them, Murphy and Shiva were there to apply enough pressure, make sure the shot wouldn't come. Toolings. She's had a more effective night playing wide than she did centrally on Friday.
She's been impressive from the start tonight, just that aggression, and now she's getting the crowd going there as well. She's shown a lot of energy and flair on the ball.
So here we go with Tolosa. Tolosa drops the shoulder, digs out across, volleyed away with certainty by Hayes. The 2 goals coming in a 6 or 7 minute spell for Belgium. Left Ireland reeling for a few moments, but it looks like they're going to get in at half-time without the damage being deeper. There is the whistle. And no surprise, the player who inspired Belgium was the captain, Tessa Vollaert, with international goals number 96 and 97, both superbly taken. It's all tied up in the night, but the momentum with the hosts. Ireland with a big second 45 minutes to come at half-time at the Dreef in Leuven. It's a score of Belgium 2, the Republic of Ireland 0 on aggregate, all tied up at 4 goals apiece.
The momentum is fully with Belgium in Leuven. An incredible team goal gave the home side a 1-0 lead, and they didn't relent, Tessa Vollaert adding a second before the break. Their big player stepped up on the big night, and it is a big second half that's needed from Ireland. Karen, it hasn't gone to script so far. What's went wrong?
Well, I think you mentioned it there, momentum. That was something that we had for the first 20 minutes, and on Friday night we really capitalised on that, whereas we didn't really create enough clear-cut opportunities when we were in the ascendancy. And Belgium, like we thought we would do, felt their way into the game, have stuck to a game plan. You can see that their backline is stretching out, it's fanning out, it's making it much harder for us to get pressure on the ball, and they are causing us a lot of problems down the wing. When we're looking at the Ireland team, we're saying who's playing well for us, and you can't really pick anyone out because we're bystanders at the moment. We're a bit passive, and that's just not what I expected based on the intensity that we brought to Friday night. The roles have really been reversed. Belgium were on it. They were letting us know we were in a game nice and early, and that got them into the game. They got G'd up by that, and to be fair, they are well worth their lead in this game.
Yeah, and that lead came on the 33rd minute. Was it a case that Ireland allowed them to play football and play themselves into the game?
I think you have to give credit to Belgium with this goal. You know, they've worked a good opportunity, and we were under the cosh a little bit, and here's just a case of getting around people, give and go, 1-2s, and we got stretched. And at this point, Kate McCabe tries to fill the top of the box because the midfield haven't recovered, and it's an unbelievable finish from Vollaert. But I think the midfield have all collapsed on top of each other here. They haven't got back into the right spaces. And then, yeah, the quality of Vollaert for an unbelievable finish. But it's a great goal from Belgium. Can we have done better in the situations? Yes. But I think more credit has to go for Belgium in this case, and that finish is exceptional.
Yeah, and they kept that pressure on once that momentum swung their way as well, Karen. And the second goal came just 7 minutes later, and who else but their big player, Tessa Vollaert?
Yeah, she's been outstanding. She's really is a big game player, and here we see it out wide, no pressure on the ball, and this wasn't one of the times where they carved us open. It's a simple long ball, and it's just a matter of communication there. Something has gone awry between the message between Grace Maloney and Caitlin Hayes. Once Caitlin Hayes decides to clear this ball, that has to go into Rose Ed, but it was almost like she was second guessing it, whether she should take it down or let it go through. So something was lost in translation. There wasn't a concise decision made, and we paid the ultimate price. And again, it's a wonderful finish. And Grace Maloney again caught out being chipped.
Could she be better there?
It depends on what the message that came from her was. If it was to let it through, she was ready to take and collect. If it was to clear it, then yes, she's in a little bit of no man's land. But it's hard to blame her there either. You know, she's coming in. She's high. She is high there.
She's coming to collect. So
yeah, and we don't know. She may have you know, Caitlin may have made that decision, but if she made the decision to clear, again, it's Rosie, and a little mistake like that, we saw it. The one credit we gave Belgium on Friday night was that they got 2 chances and they took those 2 chances, and we gifted them that once, and Tessa Woolert is not one who's going to allow you to get away with stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of answers needed at half time in the dressing room. Coming up after the break, though, we'll have more analysis and that second half, so stay with us. Well, back here, the Ireland women are trailing Belgium by 2-0, but it is all square on aggregate. Niamh, what positives can they take from that first half?
I think we had a really bright start, and we've caused them problems, particularly from set pieces. This second minute here, great chance for Caitlin Hayes and Jessie Stapleton to score. And again, Everard is really struggling with the deliveries from McCabe, flapping at it a lot. And you know, these opportunities for us are going to be massive, and given how aggressive Belgium are, they're going to give us opportunities from set pieces. So I think it's just now half time is coming, regroup, refocus, build ourselves back into the game, get a bit of momentum, and then obviously when we do get them set pieces, they are struggling with them. So we have opportunities. It is all square and it is only half time, so just build our way back into it again.
Okay, well, the team are back out early. Karen, can you predict any changes?
No, I don't think that it will change in personnel. I think that it's more about getting the players that we have on the pitch more involved in the game. You know, we're bigging up Katie before the game, but they've kept her quiet. I'll give Belgium the credit for that. So we have to find ways to switch up our play. It does look like Anna Patton is going to come in. The midfield are getting a little bit overrun. They did look a little bit leggy, and that's maybe to be expected given the effort that was put in that first game and the limited game time that the girls had and the expectations that was on them. So hopefully she'll bring a lot of aggression into that midfield potentially, and just some dominance, some calmness, and we need to keep the ball for more sustained periods. And again, like I said, try and get Katie and the top 2 into the game a bit more.
Right, well, we won't mention extra time and penalties just yet. Let's rejoin our commentary team now of Maeve and Des.
Yeah, so there's the change. It is Anna Patton for Rusha Littlejohn, and we were speculating maybe that might mean Jessie Stapleton into midfield, but no, it looks like Anna Patton will go in there. Carla Ward speaking in the week that she has played in that position before, so she will certainly bring that physical edge and that presence in there. Anna Patton in a second half where Ireland have to try and find a way to get a grip on this game.
That's it for sure, and I think that grip, you know, will be in midfield as such, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see Patton in there. I think, you know, you said Ward said before that she played in there for Villa when Ward was manager, so I'm sure she'll be able to do a job and bring that kind of physicality and a bit more intensity there in midfield.
Yeah, she'd have had a good grounding young at Arsenal and then college in the US. Made her Arsenal debut as an 18-year-old Anna Patton before moving on to Aston Villa, and very much a mainstay there now as the centre half. Let's see how she goes in this unusual position for her from an Irish point of view. Now do Belgium come out and look to go full tilt again, knowing they're in the ascendancy, albeit not in the lead. Delosa. He's had a good night so far on that left wing back row. Patton gets her first touch. And for a throw in, taken quickly. Xenia Mertens, here is Delosa. Looking to work with Tullings again. And Mannion, good strength on the end line to see it dead for a goal kick.
Yeah, really smart play from Mannion, because for the first goal I think she got done a little bit on this side and just showed her physicality there, just not letting Delusa in.
Abby Larkin in conversation, you might have noticed there with Alan Mahan, whether that's an indication we might be seeing that the Crystal Palace winger sooner rather than later. Detroyer tugging the jersey from Shiva. Just been on the fringes of this one so far, Marie Detroyer, but maybe her biggest job done late in that first leg with the goal that got it to 4-2. Hayes averts the danger, but Belgium will stay in an advanced area here. And down this playoff route before in the first edition of the Nations League. They finished third behind the Netherlands and England in League A, and then hammered Hungary 10-2 in the playoffs over 2 legs. It's kind of where they've fallen in terms of the League A sides. Third behind some heavy hitters, Spain and England this year.
Fullard there, you can see 3 Irish players beside her, and she still manages to win the free kick.
Whether that was the message at half-time or not, just to get an awful lot closer to Tessa Fullard. And a Patton, the offender. Fullard to take. Flat, low delivery. That will run for a corner.
Mannion looks slightly guilty. She turned away looking at the ref, I think, with this one, but it's a corner at least.
Oh, it just seemed to skim off the hand of Chloe Mustaki.
Van Havermet, always the one to watch.
Van Havermat and Carusa getting a little too well acquainted for the referee's liking. Admonishment given, corner taken short, and back out to Fullard again. Hoists it in with her left foot around the back, and it was Tisiak who was arriving right onto the back of Chloe Mustaki, causing her a problem.
Yeah, just a variation there, short corner, and then Mustaki is just putting just enough pressure on Tisiak.
Being held in the city of the domestic champions Leuven, who won it last season on a razor's edge against Anderlecht, denying Anderlecht 8 in a row. Dropped over the top for Cayman. Awkward for Hayes, and the effort from the edge from Detroyer. Ireland had enough bodies there to get a touch on it. And behind for another corner.
I think Ireland just need to put their boot through it at this stage maybe and get it up the other end of the pitch. A couple of opportunities to clear that one.
Van Havermat on the move again. Touch at the near post, headed on by Patton. And Sullivan gets a second bite at it. Ireland grateful for the throw-in off a loose touch from Jill Janssens. Hayes sprays it out to the far side. Lovely ball that from McCabe. Draws Janssens in field, takes it back on the outside. Shiva. Forced back to Mustaki. Here is Patton. Fouled by McCabe.
Just see a loose pass from Patton there, and just late from McCabe. Haven't seen her get forward that much tonight, McCabe. Obviously that's to do with Janssens playing in that right wing back role, and she seems to be pinning McCabe back into a left back spot, and hopefully we can try release McCabe even a little bit more.
That's the beauty of the horror of two-legged games. One side is going to learn an awful lot more than the other from a first leg. Belgium have certainly got their work done. They made the personnel changes, 4 in total. They made the tactical tweaks in terms of some positions. And crucially, they've got the goals. Here's O'Sullivan. Mustaki. Closed down by Detroyer, but ball will still run through here to Carusa, and it will break for Shiva. Can she finish? Slips it inside. Murphy gets her shot away, and Everard, for the first time tonight, forced to deal with an Ireland shot that was on target.
Much better play from Ireland. Just thought maybe Shiva could have hit it, but we just see good hold of play from Carusa initially, and Shiva just came onto it really sharply. A little slip ball through to Murphy, who'll be disappointed probably not to finish from there. See it again. Shiva showing that attacking flair that she had on Friday, and just probably not enough accuracy maybe from Murphy, just made it an easy save for Everard in the end.
The shape of Murphy might have tempted Everard to take a step to her left. She didn't go too early, and as a result managed to make the save. Here's McCabe, and hook goalwards. Jessie Stapleton attacking that one at the near post. Everard in the right position again for Belgium. A couple of bright moments as Ireland lift the siege. Sarri Kays of Leicester City. But of this parish of Leuven, here goes Tisiak. Intercepted by McCabe. That's a throw from McCabe that works its way beyond Tisiak. Carusa, can she get her head up here? Gets it inside. Murphy with the extravagant flick. And whether she saw someone or whether it was just a touch in the hope that someone was arriving edge of the area, Ireland would stay on the front foot. Patton. Stapleton. Time and space for Caitlin Hayes. Didn't make the most of it though. Good reactions from Mannion. Hayes pass not accurate again, and now a chance for Toolings. Delosa. Vollard snaps it back to Xenia Mertens, and now Kays into Kamen, who takes it on the half turn. Lovely bit of work from Janice Kamen, works it right hand side. Janssens looking to use her pace against Mustaki. Hangs up her cross over the head of Toolings. Here is Delosa. Vullart on a hat-trick. Looking to set up Van Havermaet. Keeps it moving. Detroyer charged down by Chloe Mustaki. The only real Irish player to step out there, put her body on the line.
Yeah, I seem to have the numbers back in those areas, but it's just getting that pressure on the ball that's needed.
Handful of the Belgian substitutes going through a bit of a warm-up on the far side. Loose ball inside, picked up by Emily Murphy. Here's O'Sullivan. Chance to drive forward here. Oh, it's not a good challenge, and a certain booking here for Van Havermaet.
Yeah, absolutely no complaints about that one. Van Havermaet knew what she was doing just to prevent the counter-attack. An important challenge for Belgium.
The scoreline as it is, momentum can shift quickly. Good positive driving run from O'Sullivan. Looked like Van Havermaet had done a lot of the hard work in making up the ground to get back in chase, and then badly timed tackle.
Yeah, and from their perspective, there was two other covering defenders, so probably an unnecessary challenge maybe at the same time.
Looks like we might be seeing Abby Larkin, as mentioned, as McCabe swings this one in. Hayes made the first contact, and Patton looking to snap up anything that might fall to her. McCabe back in again. Just didn't fall the way of a white shirt. Toolings settles everyone down. And those moments where Ireland just need a kind bounce, a kind break. Hasn't come yet. Case hasn't actually fancied forward, so back to Everard.
I'm just looking at our midfield three. At times we're very flat, and one ball kind of can cut through us. Shiva, Patton and Denise, they're just very, very flat. We need to really, I think, try to stop the spaces between the lines, because Kamen got through us once there.
It's better from Katie McCabe. On the front foot here. Slips it inside Carusa, Emily Murphy. Here is Aoife Mannion. Does she fancy it? Well, it was there to be struck by Aoife Mannion, but always skying off target. The last few minutes, more positive from an Irish point of view.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Mannion just offers a hand in apology there. Carusa is probably offside there. Not sure if that was called, but maybe if that was McCabe on the other side, you'd like it to fall to her, but it's well over it.
Mertens, Toolings, and Case. You could see Patton there step up on Van Havermaet, making sure it can't go through her. Trying to force Case to go longer and pick up these. Mustaki into the tackle. That will carry through to Maloney.
I think even if they're not marking players in that midfield area, they need to be screening the ball into essentially a 3 now up top for Belgium at times. So we just need to make sure even that, like that, if we're not marking midfielder, you're screening the ball up to the forwards.
Shiva in the land of the Giants there against Van Havermaet. Carusa, excellent work, and here goes Shiva into the penalty area. Marissa Shiva! Looking for that bottom corner. Everard makes the save, and she's had a few to make now in this second half. Shiva starting to come into this game more and more.
Yeah, great forward runs from Shiva. It's just that final product at the end. There's a couple of runners there, O'Sullivan and I think it was Murphy too, possibly could have pulled it back, but the chance was there at the same time if it was just a bit more accurate, but Everard with a good save.
Tisiak. Is there a little late one there from Emily Murphy? The Belgian bench certainly thought so. Play goes on. Carusa checked her run to stay on side and then just couldn't get going in time. Everard feeling there was a little leg left in there by Kira Carusa. So here we go, just shy of the hour mark. It's Emily Murphy who makes way, and Abby Larkin into the mix.
Like for like, really, I think Abby will offer that new invigorated energy, I think, and same tireless running that Murphy had, but it would be interesting to see. No, we're just straight swap yet, still two up top, so Larkin will be making those forward runs in behind off Carusa.
Just seeing her out wide, she might relish this position though. Abby Larkin very positive in everything she does, and enjoying a good season, starting every game for Crystal Palace. Patton, tackle from the wrong side from Delosa. Referees tend not to like those.
Yeah, they'll take this free and get up the pitch. Not a whole lot on that one maybe, but like I said, I will take it, and hopefully a good delivery in this area. It's a very high line from Belgium actually. There's a lot of space that McCabe can hit there in between the back line and the goalie.
Larkin hoping to make an immediate impact. Down the middle from McCabe, the flicked header, and Everard saves again. Turned back inside by Larkin. Belgium get the breaks this time. Great delivery from Katie McCabe, and she'll look to do likewise here. Moves this one towards the back post. Patton's in the mix, and the little flick from Carusa. They're certainly working Everard now.
Yeah, great ball into a dangerous area, and we just see Hayes always seems to be the one to get her head on that one, and then second save by Everett's face, I think. She did well, in fairness, to get up quick because Larkin was there ready to pounce, and brave save.
Yeah, she was forced to sit on the bench, an unused substitute at the Summer Euros, Nikki Everard. But if she is now the backup goalkeeper, back in due to an injury to Lichtfuss. Number 75, all the experience in the world, and they've needed her to be on her toes in the second half.
We look to be threatening, I think, from set pieces, and we know Belgium can be a little bit, I suppose, we can be dangerous from them, and they can be not too comfortable from set pieces. So definitely it's an area I think we can target. But on the flip side too, they've scored even in the Euros. They scored against Spain, conceded 2 from corners too. So definitely an area we can target.
More even feel now though to the second half. Vullart, is that going to get away dead? It is. Despite the pace and considerable pace that it is of Jill Janssens. Just that's too much of her, that pass. Cassie Masipo. Looks like she'll be introduced off the bench for Belgium any moment. Sassuolo midfielder. Getting the final instructions. Another vastly experienced 73 caps. He got ahead to it all, McCabe. And it has been physical, and it's threatening to boil over now. And Vullart is not taking a backward step. Shiva might be in trouble as well, just for being the third person in. That's just lit a spark here. Ireland need cool heads. And Cayman, the most experienced player on the pitch, doing well for our captain here.
It's really in the melting pot, this game, and it's kind of boiling over a little bit now. Sure, there was a whole lot in that.
Then it was Shiva and Caitlin Hayes in as the protector.
You could imagine a yellow on each side, maybe. It's the usual outcome in these cases.
It's been a properly contested 2 legs, though, in terms of the physical stakes.
Yeah, it really has, particularly the aggression and the physicality side. Tonight, really, Belgium have upped their game in that regard. It was probably lacking a small bit from them in the game in Dublin, and yeah, it's really fiercely contested, and it's going to enter in a crucial stage of the game now, and the subs and the new introductions onto the pitch could have a big impact on the result.
Shiva has escaped the caution. Not so Hayes and Vullart. McCabe. Van Havermaet heads it away, but Ireland coming onto it again in numbers. 6 and 7 up around that penalty area. Have to be careful as a result in these areas. Mustaki maybe takes the wise course of action.
We know how threatening they can be, Belgium, on the counter-attack.
Sent long by Grace Maloney. Good flick on from Hayes. And in behind is Abby Larkin. No, she's pulled it across goal. But there's that pace, that positive running, expecting something good to fall her way.
Yeah, great flick on from Hayes initially, and Abby Larkin doing what she does best, getting the run in behind, and Caruso it was flicked it on as well, and Larkin just dragged it wide. Need to be getting those on target, easier said than done, but great attack from Ireland.
Interesting change here. Tisiak off, Cassie Masipo on. Midfielder for defender. We know the versatility of Janice Cayman. Even Van Havermaet. Let's see if they're going with a 4, or if there's a little bit of a positional rejig here for someone. I often see Tisiak taken off. Van Havermaet. Delo's a lovely ball inside. First time touch for Toolings. Her ball looking to spring Vullart. Larkin runs into trouble in the form of Toolings, her opposite number.
She's making an impact, Abby Larkin anyway, just a little bit too eager in that occasion, I think.
Just over a quarter to go. And given all that momentum that Belgium had built up with the 2-0 lead in the first half, It's been a good reaction from Ireland in the second. Sought to get more physical, to get closer, tighter. Deny Belgium those opportunities to play forward, to find the gaps. And carry the threat of their own.
There seems to have dropped back in. She's on the ball at the moment as a right-sided centre-back.
She's going to have to try and get back now, 37 years of age. McCabe floats it in, oh, just too far in front of Larkin. Carusa may be anticipating Larkin would get a touch. Caught on her heels. Tooling's in field, Vullart. Lovely spin away from Hayes, but the ball, not what it might have been. Picked up by Shiva. Carusa, is she offside? She is.
Yeah, just frustrating there. I think Shiva was probably looking for the option out left and forced the ball through the middle, and Carusa had gone that little bit earlier. Maybe the ball into Larkin would have been the better option there, but still really positive play from Ireland, playing on the front foot now and taking the game a little bit to Belgium, albeit it's still quite an open game. Feel like it could go either way.
Looking the more threatening side now, certainly in terms of how much the respective goalkeepers have been called into action. McCabe gets as much on that as she can. Carusa her target, headed out by Cayman. From attacking midfielder to right side of the back three. Some players claim versatility, some people are versatility. McCabe. Van Havermaet, the one you didn't want. The end of that one. Patton strong in the tackle and digs it out to Mannion. Shiva. Pass didn't have the legs.
See there, Anna Patton, solid tackle in the end. So important now when we're up in these areas of the pitch that we make sure that we are defensively sound as well, just to negate that counter-attack.
McCabe, taken by Carusa. Patton on, headed away by Delosa. Stapleton makes it hers. Mannion gets the flick on. Maybe a suggestion of a nudge in the back as well. Masipo dealt with in aggressive fashion.
So many battles all over the pitch, just one after the other.
Delosa tried a progressive ball for Van Havermaet, but ended up with Shiva. Mannion down the wing for Carusa, on the move again, shadowed by Xenia Mertens. So Sullivan there in support. Outnumbered and dispossessed, and it's Mertens to come away with it. Masipo to her left, Vullart. First legs of Masipo carry on, face now by Hayes. Patton covers on the inside. Toolings. Vullart, and again with the captain. Masipo. Faced by Hayes again. Jana Toolings. To draw Mannion in. Delosa. Vullart. Delosa again, left-footed cross, landing on the penalty spot. Where McCabe did enough to make it an awkward finish for Detroit.
I could see just the Belgian sustaining a bit of pressure, but it was dealt with well. Good organisation from Ireland, and McCabe there just calling for a bit of calmness again.
Well, the last 20, possibly. And maybe some tiring legs and minds now. 2 hard-fought affairs in the space of 5 days.
Yeah, you'd be thinking about O'Sullivan in particular. She lasted about this long in Dublin. They took her off probably because they had the option to, but I don't think tonight that option really is available, so it'll be interesting to see if she'll last the 90 or plus minutes. The assistant getting a bit of a whack of the ball there off the dugout when it came off the dugout.
Who can find that surge they need for the last 20 here? Who can find that telling moment? Nations League, League A status on the line here and all that comes with it. Particularly in terms of what would be on paper an easier possible route to the World Cup in Brazil in 2 years' time. Carla Ward making no secret of the fact that League A is where she feels Ireland need to be to continue to progress. To be in facing the likes of England and Spain and France and Sweden. Loose ball from Carusa. Not a great ball forward in turn. Bullard the only one up there and nowhere near finding her. Mustaki.
The League A ties, I think, would definitely be more glamorous on paper than the League B ones that we've had experience of in the past, and you'd be thinking potentially the Aviva would be the option for League A, whereas possibly Tala might be more suitable if we're playing in League B.
Well, Masipo hasn't wasted much time in making an impact on the game since her arrival. Game still in the melting pot here. Patton taken down. And to Troyer. There's a yellow card. Is it for Carla Ward or for Emma Byrne? Carla Ward, it seems.
Yeah, you can see the frustration there. Anna Mahan taking a turn now.
Good cop, bad cop routine.
Stocky is on if she plays it there.
Even better, Maloney advancing to set McCabe here in a crossing position. Patton and Hayes to aim for, 2 obvious targets. Belgium defended well. O'Sullivan, good ball that for Mannion. And she find the cross she wants. Left-footed, good delivery. And came and did enough. Hayes attacking it around the back.
Hayes' forehead just seems to be a magnet to all those crosses. Ball cut in on Mannion's weaker left foot, but a good delivery. Just couldn't get the connection she wanted on that. Get that little bit higher just when we are attacking, get her a bit more involved, higher up the pitch.
Touch there from Mustaki, a faint touch, but it was enough. Janssens was on the running behind her. Maloney booms it downfield, Delosa underneath it. Toolings. It's a nice ball, Ireland needed to skip beyond, and McCabe does well. A little less on that ball and she'd have been second favourite, Katie McCabe. Shiva hunted down by the long striding Van Havermaet. Larkin into shooting range. Oh, wasn't a bad effort. Everard certainly interested.
A great break out of defence initially from McCabe, and then the ball just caught a little bit on the wrong side there, and I think it was Toolings maybe, or Janssens even was probably looking for a penalty there, but it was Larkin then with the finish there, not on target, but I don't think there is much wrong with Denise's legs. She was right up there, joining in the attack, getting herself in the box.
Delosa, well-weighted ball, Vullart moving with menace again. Hayes gets a touch on the cross that takes it back to Grace Maloney. Sullivan looking for the flick on Mertens, Carusa, and now Larkin. It's an aggressive challenge coming in for Mertens. If she gets that one even slightly wrong, she's in trouble.
I can see it can still be often given as a free, even if she did win the ball, studs showing like that. See, Maloney is choosing route one a lot today, as opposed to we were playing out the wing backs a lot on Friday, and seems to be going forward early.
A lovely touch from O'Sullivan. Here's Patton setting Mannion to cross again, pulls it back towards the edge. Shiva and Larkin. Belgium shut that door pretty quickly, and Masipo to drive them out. Tullings is there, Vullart is there. Foul by Mustaki. The referee might have done Ireland a favour there, not allowing Van Havermaet to take that quickly, but not booking anyone, so Van Havermaet might feel a little bit aggrieved.
Definitely worked in Ireland's favour. It's been good. Mannion has been getting a bit more involved in an attacking sense now, getting a couple of balls into the box from this right side.
Tullings and Masipo. Rolls it inside to Van Havermaet. Shiva snapping away at her and forcing her back.
Good question.
McCabe shooting up here. And Janice came in, left in a heap on the ground. McCabe's reaction, the right one here, just making sure there was no reaction in terms of the referee or the opposition player. See forward towards Larkin. Came in almost twice her age, still has that turn of pace. O'Sullivan in on Van Havermaet. Can see the Ireland bench on their feet every moment like that, just keeping the energy levels in their team. Can they find the goal though to get back in front in the tie? What has been a full-blooded home and away affair. Shiva, here comes the cross away in the half volley by Sari Case. McCabe turns away from Vullart. Kay is well positioned, drills the ball out, and the whistle sounds against Mustaki again.
Yeah, it's a couple of times now Mustaki has a foul, but fairness is at times when maybe we're preventing the counter-attack too, because we are getting numbers forward. There was 5 in the box that time, so probably smart play from Mustaki.
Yeah, it wasn't in a bad area. There is Delosa. Van Havermaet feels the presence of Patton, has that frame to protect the ball though. Now they're looking to spring Janssens. A few occasions now in the second half she's been running, but the passes haven't been accurate enough, and she has to turn and back into that position. Lung-busting role when you're playing as a wing-back. You'd appreciate a little more sympathy in the passes, I think.
Definitely.
Mariam Taloba, who started in Dublin, on course to be the next one off the bench for Belgium. A little bit of instruction for Kira Carusa from Carla Ward. Janice Kamen. Straight at Hayes, here's Patton. 2 touches away to Shiva. We go down the line, Carusa had her back turned and Cayman can pick it up. Volleyed forward by Mustaki. Shiva's flick on Carusa. Going to have a run against Case here. He defends her well.
You'd wonder, will we see a change for Carusa soon? Probably not the most likely to score a goal. I think she's over 500 days without a goal at club level, but she has scored a few important ones in the Ireland shirt.
Saoirse Noonan would be an obvious one. Amber Barrett there as well.
Almost like a home game for Amber Barrett. She only is about an hour down the road.
And Taloba about to come on, one of her former teammates in Liège. It's missed time by Hayes. Booked in that scuffle with Vullart earlier. Has to keep her counsel.
Definitely important to keep 11 players on the pitch at this stage.
So here's the second change. Tooling's far more prominent this evening than she was at the Aviva. She goes off, and in comes Mariam Taloba. Plays her club football in France with Nantes. Won 4 in a row with Anderlecht as part of the aforementioned 7 in a row that they won. Player of the Year in Belgium in her final season, last season in Liège. A good calibre of substitute to bring in. McCabe rides the challenge of Vullart this time. Twists and turns, Van Havermaet can't deal with her. Now Carusa. Ireland threatening again. Carusa caught but plays on. Here is Patton. Has a go. But, no damage done. Easy save for Nikki Everard.
She's done a job in there in the second half. Patton probably more prominent defensively than offensively.
At that point now where you don't want to be a one to make a mistake, will sides get a little conservative? Play for that extra time period. Ireland have certainly been positive in the second half. Mannion dispossessed by Masipo. Important challenge that from Stapleton. There's Mannion again. Calm under pressure. Back with Hayes. Jessie Stapleton. Chloe Mustaki. Shiva on the move again. Perpetual motion. Receives it back from her captain. It's a good ball for O'Sullivan. And that was all or nothing. In the end, it was all from Xenia Mertens. Masipo. Tug on the arm from Larkin.
Again, easy to say, but just unnecessary again when you have numbers around the ball. Strong tactical actions again. Studs high. The ref is letting those ones go tonight.
Loose ball into the centre circle, picked up by Van Havermaet. Vullart pings it far side. Terrific ball as well. Janssens gets it under control. Taloba. Oh, the touch was loose, and as a result, the chance is gone. All stemming from a wonderful raking ball from Vullart. Good work here from Larkin, and she's won the throw-in.
That's the danger if we do get caught upfield, our wing-backs. Just the space is out wide then, but did well to recover and get back behind the ball.
Larkin. There's O'Sullivan. Taloba stepped in.
Just little details there in the pass from Larkin. It was to Denise's left foot instead of should have been to her lead foot just forward. Just little inches, but makes such a difference.
Stapleton sees O'Sullivan in a little pocket of space. Denise O'Sullivan slips a lovely ball in. It's Carusa! Everard saves again. Well, she's been the stand-up last line of defence for Belgium in the second half. 3 or 4 important saves she's had to make. There may be another one here on her way. O'Sullivan's effort off target.
The whole play started with Stapleton with a solid ball into Denise's feet, just on the half turn, always a nice slip ball through, and Carusa, difficult angle there to score from Everard, making the save again.
Lovely little ball slipped by O'Sullivan. Caught it well. Kira Carusa, but Everard vigilant again. Vullart all the way across in the centre. Ireland hoping maybe there's an offside flag. There isn't. Mustaki having to defend. Vullart holds on. Van Havermaet joins in. It's taken a deflection and is going to run for a corner in the 89th minute. Vullart on her way to take it. Van Havermaet in the penalty area. Will be one that needs watching. She won't be the only one. A lot of traffic in and around Grace Maloney here. Patton picking up Van Havermaet. Ireland big on big. Hayes being wrapped up by Hayes. Vullart, dangerous ball towards that near post, and Van Havermaet. And the end decision from Stephanie Frappart, his goal kick.
Van Havermaet's looking for a penalty there. Seems to think it hit an Irish arm. Just causing a nuisance of herself.
Final touch seemed to be off McCabe.
Yep, we'll take it at this stage in the game, crucial.
Looks like Lucy Quinn might be next in. Here is Carusa, and there are spaces here. Delosa hasn't really cleared it effectively. Larkin, toe poking in! Abby Larkin! Is that the goal to win it? Well, there's always a chance when she appears that something's going to happen. Ringsend on its feet. A little corner of the Dreef in Leuven is on its feet. Abby Larkin with a most delicate finish as we hit 90 minutes. Ireland behind on the night, in front on aggregate, as this incredible twisting and turning two-leg affair turns again.
When your luck is in, your luck is in. But possibly could have been a corner down the other end. Larkin just finishes there. Route 1 football from McCabe up, and then Belgium make a Haynes of it at the back, and Larkin with a toe-poked flicked finish will take it.
Well, Delosa, she knew Patton was behind her and had to do something. It was the best missed kick of Abby Larkin's career. Set her up for a most delicate finish here.
She swung her left foot, an attempted shot, and finished with the right foot, but he said she won't care. It lands in the back of the net. Looks like we're heading to League 8.
And finally, Everard is beaten. Lucy Quinn appears, and the good news, just at least 2 to be added on. Abby Larkin's second international goal on her 30th cap, her first in Georgia in the World Cup qualification campaign. Changes now. Ella van Kerkhoven was being ready to go. We're going to have to revisit a few things here. Sarah Venance is coming on as well. Well, you have to give credit to Ireland for how this second half has gone. They were in trouble when the half-time whistle sounded. 2 goals from Tessa Vullart, all the momentum, with a dangerous-looking Belgian side. That character on show. They didn't sit back, didn't try and play on the counter-attack. They created more of the threats in the second half, Ireland, and finally on 90 minutes they get the reward through the substitute Abby Larkin. And they're almost there. 5-4 in aggregate. Hayes heads away again. And Ireland see the little that remains through here to one of the best defeats they'll ever have. Cayman drives it long, flicked on by Masipo. Mannion has to be sure-footed here. Slices it out for a corner. Maybe now the final chance for Belgium to take it to extra time. The crowd on its feet. The tide that has delivered in spades. Van Havermaet near post again. Here comes the corner. And the ball is still loose and hooked by Sari Keys. That would have been the most dramatic of endings. Carnage at the near post. Maloney got something on it. There was a little touch from Van Kerkhoven. But in the end, hooked over the bar with her back to goal by Sari Keys. Have Ireland survived 1 minute beyond the 2 signals? They have done it the hard way. League B on course to upset League A. And for Ireland, on the cusp of a first ever participation in the top tier of the Nations League. And of course, the World Cup draw, the qualifiers to come up next week. Cayman into a 50-50 with Shiva. Ireland bench all on their feet again. The ball forward picked up by McCabe. Good ball into the channel. Larkin urged to head for the corner flag. The match winner. Is hers going to be the final touch here? It is, it's all over. What a night. A scalp taken and promotion to League A of the Nations League secured. A terrific 5 days for Carla Ward and the Republic of Ireland. Now they will mix it with the big guns in the next edition. And perhaps as, if not more important, how that World Cup qualification path might open up and unfold for them now, given League A status has been secured. Beaten on the night and in trouble at half-time. 2 moments of magic from Tessa Vullart. But Abby Larkin, we suggested substitutions might be key, has come up with her biggest moment in an Ireland shirt.
Yeah, she really has. 90th minute winner, the player of the match performance from Abby Larkin. I think she deserves it, just how crucial that goal was, albeit a touch of fortune about it. Fantastic performance from her, impacting the game even though she was only on the pitch for half an hour. Incredible stuff. You can see her there, Amber Barrett celebrating with her. All around great performance. We had to dig deep. I think it was a battle, maybe one we made a little bit harder than we needed to be, but at the same time you can't undoubt Belgium's quality, and they showed that particularly in the first half. Van Havermaet there, you can see disappointment, but incredible stuff to pull it out of the bag and just to show that determination right till the final whistle.
And we have to mention that first leg on Friday, how good Ireland were there. 4 goals scored. Belgium made them work for it tonight, and in the end, no surprise over 2 intriguing legs that it went down to a 90th minute goal in Leuven. Abby Larkin the hero. Ireland get the job done, heading to League A with a remarkable 2-legged win against Belgium. 2-1 Belgium on the night, 5-4 Ireland on aggregate. Looking forward to the views of Niamh and Karen with Marie.
Thanks for that, Maeve, and Des. Work hard for it, Ireland did, and great scenes there at the end as the Ireland players now that know they will take their place in League A, and a very important league to be in. Some big results there. The semi-finals of the Nations League taking place as well today, and some other promotion relegation playoff games, but the one that we care about is Belgium against Ireland, beaten on the night but winners all overall. And Karen, an important night for Irish football.
Yeah, hugely important. You know, we talk about momentum within the game, but it's momentum overall and where this team is going, where it wants to go. We've kind of had peaks and troughs since the World Cup. We thought that was going to be a springboard, but we've been fighting and we continue to fight, and now we're back where we wanted to be in League A, where we can continue to look at ways that we can improve. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't pretty, it was just a case of job done. It was just rewards given the performance that was put in on Friday night. And look, sometimes half-time comes just when you need it. It happened for us today, just as Belgium were really in the ascendancy, and we came out in the second half and we had way more about us. We were on the front foot a lot more. We were a little bit braver stepping in. We stood up to the physicality a lot better, and we created a lot of chances. So again, areas for improvement is conversion rate and things like that. But at the moment, all we care about was getting back up into League A, looking at that path towards the World Cup. And this was the first step in getting there, and we've done it. We've overcome a good Belgium side. They just weren't consistent over the two legs. Neither were we. But for longer periods of time, we were the better team, and that's what showed on aggregate at the end.
Yeah, a Belgian team who were at the Euros and have shown that they're able to mix it with some of the big teams in the world, and now Ireland are going to be against some of those big teams in League A. We saw Katie McCabe there in the huddle, her 100th cap for her, for Denise O'Sullivan as well, to be making that step up and to be looking at a clearer path as well to a World Cup. Niamh, how important is that for them?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, the benefits of playing in that League A group for World Cup qualification are massive in terms of stipulations with the draws, although a bit complicated. But I think, yeah, ultimately you're up there, you're testing yourself against, you know, the best in Europe. So it's a big momentum push and a big confidence boost, I think, for this group in what was a disappointing League B campaign. So yeah, you can see the smiles and the delight on the faces, and huge win for Carla Ward as well, I think, given the circumstances around that campaign in League B. So yeah, great night for the girls, deserved it, as Karen says, over the two games, and yeah, big psychological boost for that group as well in terms of overcoming two difficult games, and also showing the character in that second half to push up the pitch, to go after the win, and fully deserved win.
Big Irish fans, in a big lot of them in attendance, Karen, as well. It just shows the evolution really of the game when you see so many Irish fans travelling.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that they had an actual stand to themselves today. It's a testament to the journey that this team has brought the fans on over the last number of years. Look, we've had ups and downs, but it's just like this game. It's given a lot of joy. It's given a lot of heart attacks as well. But that's all part and parcel of the game. And look, they were justified in their trip over today to see a finish like that. I have to say, Abby Larkin, when she came on the pitch, she was a ball of energy, and it's what we needed. At times we did look a little bit lethargic before that, and sometimes it just takes that small injection to make a huge difference. And again, the momentum shifted in our favour. We made the most of it, and Belgium couldn't really deal with it. They ran out of steam, they ran out of ideas at the end. They emptied the bench. We used it as needed. Probably something that we'd need to look at, stacking a little bit better and bringing more players through if we are going to be looking towards a World Cup campaign and competing in any way in League A. But for tonight, a huge amount of positives. You look at Denise getting through the game as well, like, just shows the heart and the spirit that she has to get through a full 90, given that she's only returning from injury. But there was no way she wasn't going to come through for her teammates, and it's characters like that can bring a team through a really tough competition like League B, you know, where they're expected to win. That weight of expectation of being the favourites seemed to weigh on us in the first half, but again, once we'd gone down, it came back around, something we need to work on as well, mentality-wise.
Well, you mentioned that Abby Larkin was a ball of energy. She was the player of the match, and she's with Tony.
Yes, and Abby Larkin is the match winner tonight, the Sky Ireland Player of the Match. Congratulations to you, Abby. Gareth Maher from the FAI presenting you with the trophy. And well deserved, because that moment was so special. Tell me about it.
Oh God, honestly, one of the best feelings I've ever had. Yeah, I mean, especially like the credit to the girls in the second half. I'm telling you, we fought through it even though the score wasn't going our way. Yeah, we never gave up, and that just shows what we're all about, and that shows that we're Irish and we'll never give up. And yeah, I mean, as soon as the goal went in, I was like, wow. I actually was about to start crying, it was that good, but I had to focus then for the next 2 minutes.
So your family are here, and
yeah.
Did you go over to them?
Yeah, I blew my ma a kiss, to be fair. I'd say she was crying in the stands, but yeah, no, it was amazing. Even having them here to experience that with me in a feeling I'll never forget, and I really appreciate them.
It shows the value of squad as well, doesn't it? You came on knowing you had a role, you had a job to do, and boy did you do it. You had a chance before that goal as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I think everybody on that subs bench was ready to come on, and we all know our role because that's what we have to do. You know, even if we're not starting, we're still in with the team, and yeah, I think the few chances, I think I was just keeping them waiting for the last one. But yeah, I'm so proud of myself for what I've done today. So.
Now Ireland up to League A, and there's a lot of benefits to that. But from a team point of view, the confidence of the last two performances at the Aviva and tonight here, although we fell behind, the character to come back is magnificent.
Yeah, look, we know Belgium's a strong side, and they showed that in the Euros, and I think, yeah, I think we came out and had such belief in ourselves that that we're as good as them, and I think just because we weren't in the Euros doesn't mean that we can't put up a fight to the teams that have played in it, and I think that definitely shows what we're all about as Irish.
We see that more and more people coming to see the games. The crowd here tonight in Leuven, extraordinary.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, when we first seen them, we were like, it's crazy. I think you can actually hear more of the fans of ours than Belgium, and they've got nearly the whole stadium full, so to be even able to hear our fans is honestly, I think, another big moment of how they got us through the rest of the game. So
you've had an extraordinary story already in your young career. Is this the best moment so far?
Yeah, definitely. I say World Cup was definitely a really big moment, and I think a good experience, but I think having to score a last minute winner is one of my dreams, so yeah, hopefully I can get a few more in my future.
Well done tonight.
Thanks. Thank you, Tony.
A lovely interview there with Abby and Tony. Do you think this could be the breakthrough moment that Abby Larkin needs, Niamh?
Yeah, I think she's taken the step over to England, Crystal Palace. She's done well now with the Irish team. I think this is her moment to kick on, and it can take a moment like that, to give you the confidence and the belief. She mentioned the World Cup. She was there. It was a great experience. But when you're really impacting on the pitch, that develops you as a player, and it gives you that hunger to want to go and be a regular starter, to score goals for your country. So it's a big moment for her, and yeah, she's a quality player. It'd be great for her to kick on now as well from this.
Well, after so many chances, we actually didn't think it was going to happen in normal time, but it did eventually get there. Let's have a look at Abby's goal, Karen.
Yeah, and I think Ireland were worth the goal at that point. We mentioned Denise and her tireless work, and she's the one who got the flick on there, and Carusa gets the pull back. Look, it's not to say we weren't fortuitous in how the chance came about for Abby, but we were there in numbers. This was in the 90th minute, so you've got Patton breaking through from midfield, who did really well. Her presence made the Belgium defender make the mistake, slip the ball through to Abby Larkin, who, a bit of a swing and the miss, but not to take away from the finish. That's a very quick, natural finish. So, and especially after the earlier chance she'd have, to make sure that she had a cool head in that situation. It's a credit to her, and yeah, a great moment for a young player. And like you say, looking forward to seeing if she can kick on now and putting away more chances as they come through with the confidence that she should get from that.
Yeah, it was a great reaction from Abby Larkin. All right, time now for a break. We'll have analysis. We'll also hear from the Ireland manager coming up after these. Let's head back to Leuven now, though, because Katie McCabe is standing by with Tony O'Donoghue.
Katie McCabe, on your 100th appearance for Ireland, there's the cap, the gold cap. You weren't expecting that now to be presented to you here.
There's a magic man there just pulling it out of his pocket.
Congratulations. I mean, what a night. Hard fought, but well deserved, I think.
Yeah, I think over the two legs, the goals we conceded, we've kind of gifted to them, which is frustrating, but it's also important for us to understand the mistakes we're making to obviously go into next year and make sure we tighten up in those areas. They came at us and we knew they would. They're at home, great crowd behind them, so yeah, it was about kind of riding the storm, but yeah, really disappointed to concede the 2 goals the way we did in the first half.
It looked like they targeted our right side for a time. Was that to try and keep the ball away from you as well?
Well, I don't know. I think they were quite dynamic in their movements in the wide areas. They were going double wide, triple wide, and it was causing us some problems. We obviously looked at it at half-time, made a few adjustments, and then I'm sure the girls in the studio kind of noticed in the second half me being a little bit more front-footed. I think it's kind of played into our hands.
Abby Larkin, come at the hour, come at the woman.
Yeah, look, Larko's been in and around us for a while. She's in great form with Palace. she's really grown and matured over the last 2 years. And look, scoring winners like that is unbelievable. I've got goosebumps even talking about it. They're big moments, so we need to obviously keep these players fit and healthy in form, because we're going to need everybody in the steps to World Cup qualification.
We've had a lot of talking recently, a lot of reflection. Your 100th cap, a proud moment, but you said you'd only be able to celebrate it if we got through. How will you celebrate now?
Yeah, look, I've got early flight in the morning back to Arsenal, big game against Leicester on the weekend, so yeah, of course I'll enjoy the celebrations in the changing room, but yeah, it's full focus back to club. Of course I'll enjoy the moment tonight with the girls and the staff. Very proud to achieve something like this. It's very sacred, and yeah, a long time coming. I made my 50th here and lost 1-0, so I'm happy to be here making my 100 now and taking the win home.
Congratulations, not just on tonight, but on the 100, and here's so many more.
Cheers, Tony, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, an absolutely wonderful achievement there for Katie McCabe. Niamh, you know, it takes a lot of commitment to get to that 100 cap as well.
Yeah, it does. It's no mean feat with the amount of games, international games. You know, it's not like a regular season, obviously, and then injuries on top of that can disrupt it. But I think, yeah, getting to 100 is a real testament to, yeah, I suppose, character, fitness, availability, and determination to kind of stay at the top. So well deserved from Katie, and like you said, it's a big change to 50th, having that feeling of qualifying to Group A now as well. So I'm sure they'll enjoy the celebrations, and for herself as well to top it off with the 100 as well. It's really special for her.
And there she is, getting the jersey with 100 on the back of it. And another point that's worth making, Karen, as well, is that for quite a lot of those caps, she was the captain and became the captain at a very young age. So has had to be the leader for a long time.
Yeah, and it was something that I think was maybe put upon her before she not that she wasn't ready, but like there was a time maybe where she could have been allowed to enjoy just being in the squad, being a main player, but she took it upon with grace. You know, she was very respectful to the older players in the squad, given her status as a younger player, but she leads by example in terms of just like everything we said at the top of the show, like discipline, her athleticism, her work rate, the fact that she's been able to overcome adversity in her career, the fact that she shoulders so much of the responsibility. So I can see that going up to 150 the way she's going. You know, she's been lucky with injuries, but a lot of it is down to the hard work that she puts in herself.
Yeah, you can tell that she's the ultimate pro, even talking about getting back to Arsenal, and already she's thinking about the game that's coming up. We're going to head back to Leuven again, though, because Carla Ward is with Tony.
Carla Ward, congratulations. You did it the hard way, you might say, but to do it, to get promotion to League A, and the manner in which that was achieved, well done.
Yeah, no, it's that's what it means to be Irish. I think that second half performance, I think there was never, in that last 20 minutes, I felt like something was coming. We were piling on the pressure. We probably created the better chances in the second half, and then when that goal goes in, I think I ended up down near here somewhere. But delighted for everybody.
You had a job to do at half-time because conceding the 2 goals. How did that happen? We started so well, and yet let them in too easily, it seemed.
Yeah, we were disappointed with the goals, but listen, I went in at half-time and we didn't discuss the goals. We said we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We've got 45 minutes ahead of us to win the game, and we focused on what we needed to potentially tweak and how we needed to be front-footed again and have a little bit of belief that, you know what, it's gone now, it's 0-0 and we've got to go again. And it was a really positive, calm half-time, and the reaction was brilliant.
Anna Patton into midfield made a difference.
Yeah, listen, she's a top footballer, we know that. Paul Rusha did tremendously well in the first half. It just gave us a different dynamic, fresh legs. And then, yeah, we've managed to get the win with Abby Larkin coming on as well.
Yeah, substitutions can change a game. They can win a game, and they did tonight.
Yeah, Abby Larkin just said to me, I've never chipped a ball in my life, and then she's come up with that one tonight. So delighted for her, delighted for the team, delighted for Katie on her 100 caps, and she's just decided to tell everyone it's a free bar, so I'm going to have to deal with that tonight now.
The game was to and fro, very aggressive, very physical. I'm sure you were expecting that.
Yeah, we needed to match it. We were more physical than them in the first game. I don't think they quite coped with it. I knew that they would come out more aggressive, front-footed, potentially tweak a few things with Jill Janssen back in. She gives a different dynamic. And yeah, first half we didn't cope with it as well. Second half, I think we thoroughly deserved to win the game, to win the tie.
Was Courtney Brosnan missed though? I mean, you look back at the goals you conceded and you think maybe they shouldn't.
Yeah, look, we won't talk about, we take goals as a team, we score goals as a team, we concede as a team, we win together, we lose together. So, look, the girls have dug in, they deserve an awful lot of credit tonight, that's for sure. So,
League A, tougher opponents. Will that bring you on, do you think? Do you think you're finding a shape now that suits this team?
100%. Look, Belgium essentially are a lot higher than us in rankings. We know we want to play against better teams, and we've shown that we can compete with the likes of Belgium. We want to try and prove ourselves and compete against others. You only get better by playing against the best, and I think it'll be interesting to see who we get next week, and hopefully it's three big nations, because, like I said, we can learn an awful lot by playing those teams.
It seems like a long way from Slovenia and 4-0 away.
Yeah, if you remember what I said to you on the night, we learnt an awful lot that day, and if you had said to me when I took the job 7 wins from 8, I would have snapped your hand off, really, because it was a transition period. This is a very different squad to the Wales camp, and we've had to do a lot of work, and I know Katie spoke during the week about trying to get the messages in. We've had so many classroom sessions, we've had on and off the pitch, and do you know what? I have to take my hat off to this group, because they take on messages better than any group I've worked with. They are so diligent, they want to learn, they're constantly in meetings asking questions. They're just a breath of fresh air to work with, and I actually told them that this morning. I said, you're just a good group to work with, and they deserve, honestly, some plaudits tonight.
It's good to talk about football, isn't it?
Listen, it's great, we're getting there, aren't we?
Thank you very much, well done.
Thank you. Take care of yourself, right?
Thank you.
Well, I'd say Carla Ward enjoyed that second half a lot more than she did the first half. But Niamh, how much credit does she deserve? Because she's now adapted her system, and at half-time there, she was able to adapt her approach as well.
Yeah, she deserves credit. Like, she was very adamant that she wasn't going to change. And I think you've seen over the 2 legs with the performances that have happened, like this, for this game in particular, it does not say she won't go back to that 4-3-3, but it suited the players. There was buy-in, there was appetite, there was hunger. So she deserves credit for adapting. And then also, yeah, the substitutions were key. Anna Patton came in, she added fresh legs. Obviously, Abby Larkin gets the goal. So yeah, she deserves a lot of credit over the 2 legs, because they were important tactical switches and the right changes at the right time.
Yeah, and there was lots of chances then, Karen, in that second half, and they eventually got that goal. But leading up to it, they were in the right places and creating opportunities.
Yeah, it was a well-deserved goal. I think the pressure told in the end, and Katie referenced it, just about being on the front foot. We were a bit slack in getting pressure on the ball, whereas in the second half we were a lot closer, and it forced Belgium into making the mistakes that we saw them make on Friday. We made them look very good in the first half. They are a good team when you give them time and space, but we did this a lot better. Won the physical battle. That link up between Carusa and Shiva that we saw a lot of in the first game, had a couple of chances there, and you wouldn't begrudge Shiva taking on that chance, given that we saw that keeper scrambling a little bit in the first half. She was actually quite good and kept them in it in the second half, which is again a testament to Ireland and the amount of pressure that we were putting on. But again, this is what we're all about, back to basics. Katie working 77th minute, getting back, not doing anything rash, playing the ball into good areas. And like we said, Larkin brought a lot of energy, a lot of positivity, was willing to take players on, and it led to chances like this, and she wasn't alone in that.
Yeah, no, it was just positive. Anna Patton as well, just not the best shot, but obviously getting higher up the pitch, adding that physicality, and she was involved in the goal as well. And Ciara Carusa was getting her chances as well. It was complete dominance, I think, from us in the second half in terms of creation, aggression, front-footedness. So yeah, I think it was really positive, and psychologically as well. It can't get over, like that first half, they could have easily, sat back, crumbled in the second half away from home. It showed lots and lots of character from this squad that has had a lot of changes. So big testament to the group. Massive boost now, and obviously into League A. So yeah, really good from everyone's. Some positivity back in the group.
It's important that it wasn't a flash in the pan. We were worried about that at half-time. We looked like we were about to be humbled, but I do think it was mentality shift that got us through into that second half and regain our composure and regain the aggression that we saw Belgium struggle under.
Yeah, and crucially, they are through. So that's it from us for this evening. My thanks to Niamh and Karen for their company. It was a nervy night for Ireland, but did we ever really doubt they'd get the job done? League A, here we come.